What's up, ladies and gentlemen, YouTube Stand Up TV here, keeping you guys in the know. And if you're having drop frames on OBS and you've done everything you can with your ISP as far as changing out your routers and speed tests are all fine and your ISP tells you there's nothing wrong with you, maybe it's Windows 10. Today we're going to talk about how to optimize Windows 10 for streaming to Twitch and to YouTube. And I'll give you a little background about my situation that I was having with drop frames after I upgraded to Windows 10 before we even get started. So here we go, guys. So after I had upgraded from Windows 8, when I was in Windows 8, didn't have any problems. I ran Windows 8.1, never had a drop frame while running OBS and sending up video to Twitch or to YouTube. But when we upgraded to Windows 10, I started having problems, and I was blaming it on my ISP, wrongfully so. We went through 3 routers since I've upgraded to Windows 10. 3! And we also had modem checks. Speed tests were always fine. They come out and they test the lines and everything's fine. So what's going on? Because you're getting your 5 meg up that you're, the minimum that you're supposed to get from your ISP. So what's going on? Well, after a little bit of thinking and retracing my steps, I found out that I was only dropping frames every time Windows 10 updated itself. And then diving a little bit more into it on Google and through many threads and forums, I found out that Windows 10 actually uses a peer-to-peer system to update itself, which means you're sharing your copy of Windows 10, your current version, with everybody else, and everybody else is sharing their Windows 10 with you by default. It's kind of like how torrents work. If you have a torrent program on and you're constantly sharing your torrents, you're sending information which uses up a lot of bandwidth, actually. And the same way, like if you use a torrent service, you can download from a bunch of, so it's like a shared community, and it really does eat your bandwidth. And I can't believe that Windows had this on by default, because as we all know, torrent sites are notorious for having bad cooties on the internet. Bad internet cooties. But anyway, guys, that's what was going on with me. And now I'm going to show you guys how to turn that off. How you can set your PC settings to only download from Microsoft and not use the peer-to-peer, which it is, like I said, set on to by default. And then we'll also discuss some settings that you can tweak, just minor little tweaks in OBS that will help your OBS performance and help you to prevent dropping frames. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go over here to the search and web windows next to your little start menu, and you want to type in settings. Here we go, guys. There you go. You want to open the settings console. That will open. Go to update and security. Now we're on, it should automatically highlight Windows Update. Go to advanced options. And now you're going to want to choose how the updates are delivered. Click on that. And here you can see it says updates from more than one place. Download Windows updates and apps from other PCs in addition to Microsoft. This can help speed up app and update downloads. Sounds great on paper, but like I said, it cuts into your bandwidth, and it also brushes with some of those internet cooties that we don't want on our computer. So when this is turned on, your PC may also send parts of previously downloaded Windows updates and apps to PCs on your local network or PCs on the internet, depending on what's selected below. So here's one of 2 ways. See, by default, this is on like this, and this is on. So it's sending PCs on my local network and PCs on the internet. You want to either select PCs on my local network or do what I have done and just turn it off altogether. Hit the back button a few times to get back to this screen, or close the window and type in settings again here to open this console back up. Because the next thing we're going to want to do, guys, is we're going to go to privacy. Not only does Windows 10 use the peer-to-peer system, but all of the background apps all of the Windows 10 like Metro applications use that as well. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to background apps, choose which apps can receive info, send information, and stay up to date even when you're not using them. Turning background apps off can help conserve power, but it can also, what they're not telling you, is help save your bandwidth, especially on your upload, which is very important when streaming to Twitch or to YouTube. So what we're going to want to do is turn all of these off. Now you notice I've already done that, except for this app right here, and that's because I play music during my stream and I use this application to do it. Actually, it's called Plug Radio, which is basically Pandora without the advertisements. But so I left that on, but everything else I turned off. Another thing you can do to help save your frames from dropping and your streams to prevent your streams from looking like a slideshow is go to your OBS and make sure you're checking your settings. Go to output. For 720p streams, you don't want to dip any lower than 1800. A lot of other streamers and a lot of other forums recommend at least 2000 for your 720p streams, and generally no more than 2500. 2500 is pushing it. Remember what you're uploading your video bit rate. The other people have to download it, and some people have weaker internet than others, so when you start going up above 2500 and heading into 1080p territory, it becomes a lot harder for other people to view your Twitch anyway, unless you're a partner, and then it doesn't matter. You can upload it whatever you want to because people can just select a quality option. But so I recommend, if you're not a partner, to stream at 2000 kilobytes up, which is fine for 720 samples. The next thing you're going to want to do is go to advanced. Now this is not on by default. You want to stream delay. If you're still having dropped frame problems, you might want to give this a shot. What this does is gives your OBS a little bit more time to encode the video before sending it to Twitch or to YouTube. And by default, it's set on 20 seconds. That's a little too much time for me because that's 20 more seconds on top of the 30 seconds that it already takes to encode. So that can be a full minute before a audience member can hear you reply to a comment. But I don't think 5 seconds hurts anything, so that's what I've done here. Is I've given my copy of OBS an extra 5 seconds to encode the video before sending it to Twitch or YouTube, and that seems to help cut down on the amount of dropped frames as well, because like I said, you're not trying to send it all out, a lot of packets out at one time. You're having more time to actually encode them properly, and believe it or not, it helps, and it will help prevent drop frames. Like I said, guys, these are just things that helped me and my situation with drop frames. If you can think of other ways to prevent drop frames, leave it in the comments below, because it may be helpful to someone else. And maybe if you want to see a tutorial about something else, leave that in the comments below too. Like I said, this is my first one. Give me some feedback on how I did. Did I do okay? I hope so. And I hope that it helped you in some way understand what Windows 10 is doing nasty, deceivingly in the background. And thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to check me out over at all my social links. Check out whatever video I put up in the card. Thanks for watching. I can't thank you guys enough for supporting my YouTube channel. And remember, guys, I love your face. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Have a good one.